Hello, my name is Angel and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you a few books that you can read on Halloween Day or just for the Halloween season, but these are short books or easy to read books that you can read in one sitting. I'm thinking Halloween Day, so these books are kind of spooky, dark books. I wouldn't say they're scary because if you know me, you know I don't read very scary books. So these are all about the spooky Halloween vibes. Let's dive right in. First, I'm mentioning a very popular author in the YA community, and that is Holly Black's The Coldest Girl in Coldtown. I read this a few years ago now, but if you love Holly Black's stories, Holly Black's writing, you will also love this book, and I don't see it around as much as I used to, so I wanted to bring this one up. This is Holly Black's vampire story. We have Tana. There's a Coldtown, which is monsters and humans living together, and it's just a good book that you can probably find very cheap somewhere and pick up and enjoy in a day. It is the thickest looking one on this list, but it's YA, very easy to read, and font is big, pacing is fast, and I myself read this in one day, so definitely doable. Just read here exactly how Coldtowns are described. They are walled cities where quarantine monsters and humans mingle in a decadently bloody mix of predator and prey. Once you pass through Coldtown's gates, you could never leave. Tana, I'm not exactly sure. She is going straight into the heart of the Coldtown. Next, I'd like to talk about a few novellas. The first is one unlike anything I'd read before. I bought this as soon as it came out, and that is Ring Shout by P. Djèjí Clark. This is, when did this come out? It's been a few years. I was still in college when I picked this up. 2020, so it came out in 2020, and this book it's got demons and Jim Crow South, so this is a dark supernatural take on the Klan where they are actually demons, and we are following the demon hunters. Atmospheric, haunting little story that it's short, but it will stick with you, and it's definitely worth, it's not going to take you long to read. It's definitely worth that time, and you may even want to reread this one. Sorry, as I was putting this down, I got distracted by the blurbs on the back, and I wanted to share one of them with you from Annalee Newitt's. A fantastical cross between Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Clark's novella tells more truths about this nation than a documentary could. That is a great blurb. Pick this one up. Another historical one is Denise Mina's Rizzio. This is a novella I read earlier this year and really enjoyed. It is a thriller. It's following the secretary to Mary Queen of Scots, David Rizzio, and his murder. So we are right in it. This is short, so it follows as the coup is happening and his murder. It's brutal and suspenseful. I would say that Denise Mina doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's straightforward. I really enjoyed this one. You won't want to put this one down. And then I have a dark fairy tale one, and that is T. Kingfisher's Thornhedge. This is a dark take on Sleeping Beauty, which, I mean, Sleeping Beauty seems like a dark story anyway, but I really enjoyed this one because instead of following the princess, we are following Toadling, and Toadling is shaped like a toad, but she's so kind-hearted. I love it so much, and the descriptions you get of her it's just funny because you have the contrast and things you weren't expecting, and then a gentle night, the romance that blossoms there. He's there specifically for this curse that he's heard that needs breaking. This princess is trapped in this tower, there's a curse, and Toadling is guarding this tower. For him to complete his mission, he has to go through Toadling. It was my first T. Kingfisher. I do need to read more by this author, but I believe that all of T. Kingfisher's retellings are dark in this way. This is a great one to start. My next recommendation is a disturbing little book I was surprised I loved so much and gave 5 stars. That is Real World by Natsuo Kirino. This one is translated from the Japanese, and I'll just read the synopsis here. In a crowded Tokyo suburb, 4 teenage girls indifferently wade their way through a hot, smoggy summer. When one of them, Toshi, discovers that her next-door neighbor has been brutally murdered, the girls suspect the killer is the neighbor's son. But when he flees, taking Toshi's bike and cell phone with him, the 4 girls get caught up in a tempest of dangers that rise from within them as well as from the world around them. Psychologically intricate and astute, Real World is a searing, eye-opening portrait of teenage life in Japan, unlike any we have seen before. What I loved most about this book is the lives of the characters and their thoughts. The definitely interesting. It is just a little over 200 pages, 208 pages, so definitely doable for a day. You won't want to put this one down. It is suspenseful, it is disturbing, and I really, really enjoyed it. I have a couple of graphic novels that I've enjoyed and would like to recommend. The Glass Scientist, Volume 1 by S.H. Cotucno. This, I believe, was a webtoon and then was published. But anyway, it's one of these stories where you get a mashup of all the classic horror figures, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dr. Moreau, Dr. Frankenstein and his monster. Is a lovely take. Feels very steampunky, and then you get queer representation, found family, a lot of things that I have come to enjoy recently and look for when I pick up books. I'll show you a little bit of it in case that is something that would make or break a graphic novel for you, just so you know what you're getting into. I personally really love the art style and dynamic between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in this imagining. And Dr. Jekyll is leading this society of mad scientists. He's trying to give them a safe place to do their experiments and fix their reputation and give them a nice place for experiments. So he has created the Society for Arcane Sciences, a place where like-minded eccentrics could come together to defy the laws of nature in peace. But of course, this is not as simple as it sounds. A stranger arrives and now things are spiraling out of control. The next one is Hollow. This is by, who is this by? Sorry about that. Hollow by Shannon Waters, Branden Boyer-White, and Berenice Nelle, the illustrators. So this is a cozy graphic novel reimagining of Sleepy Hollow. We are following Isabel Izzy Crane and her family. They've just moved to Sleepy Hollow. Everyone here knows the legend of Sleepy Hollow and is obsessed with it. Just knowing the legend, they think that's all it is, that it's just a tale, until things start to happen to the trio, which is Izzy, Vicky Van Tassel, and Croc. They are actually haunted by the Headless Horseman, so I love this take. It is cozy and beautiful art style. Unfortunately, I don't have a physical copy to show you that. I just have to take my word for it. It has a beautiful queer romance and healthy friendships. Sorry, Maple is hitting the tripod. Into my final set of recommendations, which are classics. I would first recommend the short story The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. It is such a good story, so even if you've read it already, reread it on Halloween. It's the perfect vibe. I would also recommend The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. I have read this story so many times since I was introduced to it by my middle school teacher. Definitely a dark story, and so far the only work I've completed by Shirley Jackson. Love it. It is a town and their rituals, their creepy ritual. Just read it if you haven't. And in this big old book I have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Love this story so much. There for a few years I was rereading it on Halloween. I haven't done that in a couple of years now. Maybe I should start that again, but really love this story. We have Dr. Jekyll being taken over by Mr. Hyde, and Mr. Hyde is doing crazy things, knocking people down, and so then we have the search for Mr. Hyde. I have to mention two more classics, Carmilla and The Island of Dr. Moreau, especially if you haven't read them yet. Before you pick up those graphic novels I've mentioned, please read these stories. They are classics for a reason. They are so good. You may think they're old, so they're boring. No, they are not. I thoroughly enjoyed all of these stories. And yeah, Carmilla came before Dracula, so especially if you don't read classics a lot and you want to read Dracula because you love vampires and all of the adaptations, I'm going to have to say read Carmilla rather than Dracula. See if you like Carmilla, and if you did like that experience, then read Dracula. Someone else might have a different opinion on that. Of course, if you do, voice it in the comments below, but I would say read Carmilla. and then read The Island of Dr. Moreau. Dr. Moreau feels more science fiction-y because you have the doctor who's conducting all these experiments, and then you have our narrator who's experiencing these weird things happening. He's putting it together piece by piece while he's on the island. It's like Frankenstein, where you're asking yourself why, you know, how much should humans try to change and really delve into when it comes to science. I would also mention Frankenstein, but then I'd just be mentioning all the books that well, if you haven't read Frankenstein, also read that one. Is the list I prepared for you today. I hope at least a couple of these are new to you. If you pick them up, you enjoy them this season. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!